Hi, I'm Dr. Sri Banerjee, and in this video, I'm going to go a little bit over what is going on in the heavens during the new moon that is about to be happening in the next day. So let's get started here. What I did is similar to some of the previous videos. I drew something called a horary tape, a chart, astrological chart. So what it does, as I've described in the past, is it provides you with a layout of what and where precisely the planetary bodies are within the heavens at the time that this is being created. So some of the things that I look for when I draw this chart is where is the ascendant, and so that's for lack of a better term, geospatially determined because, for instance, if this were a chart drawn in Atlanta, then this would be, the ascendant would be in Gemini. So instead, it's in Cancer, and it's interesting because we are emerging at a time when the sun is entering Cancer, transitioning from Gemini into Cancer, of course, for the solstice, the summer solstice, which will be there in a bit, and actually in this lunar cycle, in this so that's something to look at. So anyway, so that this is why Cancer is important. The sign Cancer, and so the ruling sign happens to be the moon. So the new moon is in the one that is about to occur tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. is the one that is in Gemini. So that is 9 degrees 3 minutes in Gemini. One other thing that I like to do, I want to make note of this, is correspond this to the Sabian symbol as happens to be determined by Edgar Cayce. The symbols are just that, and sometimes interpretation of symbols have multiple meanings. The symbol was of an airplane and a nosedive. So this is not to be taken literally, but kind of like systems and systems kind of combining and hybridizing two conveyances. So what I mean by that, what I see that as, is kind of like combining air, which is knowledge, and combining that with practical aspects. So earth, grounding knowledge. We can see some of that going on with Ceres being at the ascendant, where this is symbolized by Demeter, or the goddess of grain or harvest. So again, taking knowledge and making it more practical. And also, there's a lot of ninth, but more so 10th, 11th, 12th house activity going on, which means that a lot of this knowledge that has been accumulated is now going to be presented out. And you see a lot of these convention centers and places, conferences, and people being more active about engaging and making knowledge and disseminating knowledge. So this is if you're looking to present, if you're looking to provide more information to the public, communicate, this is the time to do it. Some other interesting aspects to look for is specifically I wanted to call out to this here. For those of you that may not be familiar, this is Jupiter, this is Mars, and this is interesting. Always I like to call out to these in my astrological charts when I see a personal planet, and this is a teaching moment. when I see a personal planet or a fast-moving planet like Mars, with a very slow 12-year moving planet like Jupiter. So when this happens, it's kind of like thinking of kind of a slow moving energy moving with a faster moving energy. So that's a place where you can kind of work those two together to create some new interesting things within the 10th house. So 10th house is the house of career, and this is a place where you can kind of leverage some of those ideas and be able to create some new things. So now I want to turn our attention over to a new type of graph, which for those of us who are empirically savvy and trained, this is a good one to look at. And I want to draw your attention to a number of things. Always good to read the x and the y-axis. So the y-axis is the planetary bodies, the moon, the sun, Uranus, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Mars. So good to pay attention to within a 30-day period. So what I'm looking at is between tomorrow and the next 30 days for the next new moon. It's good to look at how the declinations are taking place. So this is the wobble, so to speak. So when the planetary body is moving around the sun, how does that affect everything? And so the moon usually within a matter of 30 days makes a whole cycle, 360 cycle. This is in Cancer, and this is in Capricorn. This sign is Capricorn, and middle is Aries. So everything on top, north of this is Cancer, and well, not and signs closer to Cancer. So Aries, Taurus, Gemini. Anything south is all Capricorn territory. So just looking at, of course, the sun, when the sun is going to be in Cancer, that's going to be on the on the solstice, and then of course looking at the moon, and this is the extreme of about 10 days. So these are about if you look at the top, the y-axis is looking at every 10 days. The x-axis, I stand corrected. The x-axis is every 10 days. So every peak is happening at every 10 days, and you can kind of take a look at how Venus is behaving. And looking at Mars, Mars is much fast moving, so Mars is also pretty activated. And I showed you Mars in the 10th house in conjunction to Jupiter, so these are all good to look at in the declinations table as well. So this is a new type of technique that I just showed you in in addition to looking at planetary aspects. This is another way that you can kind of do harvesting, gardening, making plans, things like that. So this summarizes everything. Thank you for listening.